Welcome everybody to the CIL Short Track Showdown. I'm your host Jordan Brooks. Joining me today is Andrew McCall, and today we are at Richmond Raceway. It's going to be a very exciting race here today. A little shorter than normal, just 75 laps here, as it's a little longer than our normal racetracks, but it's still going to be a great race. Been seeing the practice. Everybody's been battling pretty hard all the way through. So it's going to be a great race. What are you seeing, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely looking pretty tricky out there. I was able to get a few laps of practicing beforehand, and especially on cold tires, it's really sketchy on corner exit. I found it's really hard to get the pedal down all the way until you're basically on the straightaway. And I think part of the biggest challenge of this track is probably the exit of turn 2, because it's like the radius of the corner decreases on exit and the wall starts coming at you really fast. So I'd look for that to maybe be a trouble spot, and that maybe we have a little bit of action right at the start when everyone's tires are cold, but I think it will kind of settle into a long run as everybody gets warmed up and used to the track. But overall, going to be a lot of action tonight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and one thing we're not very used to seeing is Ethan Johnson has been showing a little bit of struggles in practice here. Normally he comes in, quickly sets his top lap, tops the timesheets pretty quickly, and then parks it, takes a break, sits back, gets prepared for the race mentally. But today, he has been putting in lap after lap after lap, over 100 laps of practice here already, and he still hasn't been able to surpass Zachary DeWale for that top spot in this practice. So maybe Ethan Johnson not going to be so dominant here today.
Yeah, he's very close, though. He's only 6 thousandths off the DeWale's quickest practice time at a 21.516. But yeah, I think the fact that Ethan Johnson is putting in so much effort in practice just illustrates how challenging of a track it is, and it's going to be a battle to keep your car straight on corner exit.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see this turn 1 action. But before we get there, we got to head to qualifying. We'll head there right now as our drivers get set for this one. 5 minutes to set 3 good laps. The best lap will get you your position on the grid here today. It's going to be interesting as we see Athena Leclerc pulling out of the pits, getting some heat into those rear tires.
Yeah, I think you see what Leclerc is doing here. I think that's going to be a really big key to trying to get a quick lap down, because it is very treacherous on cold tires. So if you just do a normal exit like what DeWale is doing, you might only put down your quickest lap on lap 2 or 3 of your run, but if you are able to get the tires warm right at the start, then maybe you have a few more opportunities to nail a quick lap.
Yeah, indeed, Zach. Our top practice time of the day, a 21.510. So it's going to be pretty close. I expect to see times a little slower than that here now that there's some rubber laid down on the track. It slows down a little bit as the night goes on and it cools off too. Ryan Wilson setting a pretty quick lap there, 21.9.
Oh my, yeah. Look at him. Ethan Johnson's first lap, a 22.577, but I believe that was just the out lap to set himself up for when his tires get warmer.
Yeah, it's gonna be all about, and there you go, DeWale 21.51. That is a thousandth of a second off of his practice time. He's really feeling this track.
Very consistent. Good stuff from DeWale. Johnson a little bit quicker this past time at 22.237. Hasn't quite put down the lap we anticipate yet, but it looks like this might be it right here.
And there it is, the 21.526. He's not going to get pole position with that lap.
Yeah, it reflects his practice position. We'll see if he has the race pace to take over the lead like he normally does every race, but so far maybe a little bit of vulnerability showing for Ethan Johnson tonight.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson, he has been just about as dominant as you can be. The 3 races he's run here, Andrew, or the 3 races he's run this season, he's led all but 1 lap. Yeah, 299 laps led.
Yeah, I don't. You can't really do much better than that. In fact, it's virtually impossible. But yeah, I think that really illustrates it. It's hard to do that in this league. We have a lot of good drivers in the Collegiate iRacing League. So
look at that from Muhammad Ali. Sorry to cut you off there. Armaham Leaf taking the provisional pole position with that 21.50.
Yep.
Really,
That is the fastest lap we have seen all night so far.
no, Leaf, one of those guys, he was hiding his practice speed a little bit. He was in his own lobby, keeping that times hidden, trying to play a little bit of games there, a little gamesmanship from these drivers. A handful of them staying in their own servers, and looks like he might have a couple of laps left to go here.
Yeah, he's...
Okay, this is just going to be the replay of his lap here. The 21.5. Incredible lap here.
It looks like he just took a normal pit exit.
Exit all the way up to the wall down the straight. It's keeping it high. Not right, a late apex there through 1 and 2. It's going to help with that.
I kind of like the strategy because you're kind of letting yourself turn a little bit less on the entry, but then you cut to the bottom and make the straightaway slightly longer.
And there, what a lap, 21.504.
Now he's cutting to the bottom more. Looks like he's got the tires warmed up.
A little bit more of a diamond to that corner there. Shit up high as this was his second lap, and yeah, a very late apex through 3 and 4 there. Haven't seen many guys running that line, so.
Yep. I think he's using laps 1 and 3 as the actual hot laps, and 2 is the intermediary cool down / warm up lap.
Carry as much speed onto that timed lap as you can. Like, what a performance from Mohamed Alif, somebody who has been pretty quick this year. He's sitting 4th in our standings this year. He's sitting, what is that, just about 30 points back of our leader Ethan Johnson in the points. He's got 138 to Ethan Johnson's 165. So that's a good sign for him if he wants to start cutting back into that lead.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but it's not impossible, I would say. I guess it might take Ethan Johnson missing the last race, to be quite honest, but it's not impossible. But if that ends up happening, then we'll have a heck of a championship battle on our hands.
Especially with the way that our drop weeks have worked. Ethan Johnson already missing his race. He missed Lanier. Ryan Whitlock picked up that one. He's sitting 2nd in our championships right now. Just 10 points behind Ethan Johnson. So if Ethan has a bad race, then this very much so could be it, seeing his times on the board. It's going to be very close in that championship standing.
Yeah, and that's the value of consistency right there, and that's certainly what Whitlock has been. He's just been hanging around the front here. I think he's finished 2nd to Ethan Johnson in both of these last 2 races. So maybe this is his opportunity to take advantage of maybe an off night for that 51 car.
Yeah, and for Whitlock, the consistency has really been there. His worst finish is a 4th place. Like, his drop week is 46 points off the board for his drop week. That's a lot. So he can afford to have a bad race. It will drop right off and erase completely, because 46 points, 4th place, is an extremely good finish. But I know he's not going to want to use that as his time or as his points. He's going to want that 46 as drop week.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet it's nice to have that kind of margin, you know. It maybe gives you a little bit more license to take risks, as you saw Whitlock do just there, trying to push it a little bit, see what speed he can get off the corner exit there. But that's what the warm-up's for, trying to find what works and what doesn't.
Absolutely. And one thing he's also been really good at is climbing up the getting some overtakes done. He's started on an average of 5th this season, with an average finishing position of 2nd. 5th to 2nd on average every race is incredible to do. So, like, we see he's starting 6th in this race. He'll be 6th on the grid here tonight. I would keep an eye out for Ryan Whitlock to be pushing up against Zachary DeWale, Mohamed Alif, and Ethan Johnson up at the front.
Yep, and that speaks again to Whitlock's consistency. I mean, when you're able to move up positions like that, it's because you drive clean and you have speed that is consistent over the long run. You're not a comer. You're a comer as opposed to a goer, and that's certainly what Whitlock has been throughout this season. Has been able to take care of his tires and make his stuff last till the end.
Yeah, tire saving, a very big deal here at this track, because it's a lot of drivers were complaining during the practice session how rough the tire wear has been. Just a couple of laps hard pushing, and it destroys your time, losing you tenths of a second after just 2 or 3 push laps. So it's going to be very, very important for all of these drivers to conserve and save their tires all the way through this race for all of our shortened 75 laps.
Yeah,
But
if you use up those tires too soon, you may find that turn 2 wall coming up on you really quick.
Yeah, that exit of turn 2, especially where a lot of those guys are using up those rear tires, getting sideways, sliding. You never want to see those skid marks coming out behind these cars. So we have just about a minute left of our warm-up here that we give our drivers just to, after qualifying, get into that race pace mind. Remember sort of how to take it slower instead of their full push that they do for qualifying. Get them used to these longer runs and get ready for our race here.
And you want to take every practice lap that you can get.
And this is also with Ethan Johnson starting down in 3rd this race. This is going to be his first race not starting on pole position.
Yeah,
So-
it'll be interesting to see how he works through a little bit of traffic, even though it's only only 2 cars in front of him. Still, it's an unfamiliar position for the 51 of Ethan Johnson. It'll be interesting to see how he manages it.
Yeah, he's very used to just putting that foot down as the green flag flies and kind of driving off into the sunset. In a way, he just takes that lead, but our Muhammad Ali, Zachary DeWale in his way this time. But as we see through our warm-up, Ethan Johnson setting our fastest time up there. He's sitting up there with a 21.46. But it's going to be tough to see here as we get set for our race. Our drivers will start to line up on the grid behind our pace car. And our Muhammad Ali sitting behind that pace car. First time it's not Ethan Johnson in a race where he's been running, so that's nice to see. At Ball State, 12 car sitting there. Alongside him is the 02 of Zachary DeWale from St. Clair College. Ethan Johnson starting behind the front row. In 3rd, he's from Central Carolina College. Beside him is Athena LeClaire, Zachary DeWale's teammate. Those 2 St. Clair cars are going to need to work together a little bit if they want to push up, get past our Muhammad Ali here off the start on that outside line. Austin DeLong starting P5 alongside Ryan Whitlock, our second place points driver so far this season. In 7th is Andrew Williams alongside Jason Willott from Drexel University. Josh Comfort coming in 9th, and then there's Cale Davison in 10th from Ball State as well. Ryan Wilson from Minnesota State in 11th, and then Timothy Wilms in 12th. So our cars get rolling here as Matt Stowecki and Alexander Hogarth round out our grid here tonight. A little bit of a St. Clair College sandwich for this whole grid. Alexander Hogarth from St. Clair as well.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's nice to have a teammate behind you right at the start because you pretty much know they're going to be nice to you. But I do want to comment about Zach DeWale too. Is I really like his chances tonight, especially considering the momentum he has coming off a win at the regular season finale in the
Talladega
Cup Series. Yeah, at Talladega. Snuck out a win there amidst all the chaos and the big ones. It was a really thrilling race, but he came out on top. Let's see if he can follow it up with another performance tonight.
Yeah, as we have one more lap to green here. Yeah, that's Zach's first one of the Cup Series there Monday. And he actually took the regular season championship with that too. He is running on high right now, and it's working for him here as he's lined up on this front row of the grid.
Yeah, that momentum and confidence could do more for you than maybe you'd think.
So we get ready to go green here as we come down our back straight. Let's see who gets the better jump. Our Muhammad Alif in the 12 car, the white car here on the inside, the red and black car on the outside. That's Zachary. Gonna be a good start here. As our pace car pulls off, and we wait, and we wait, and there we are, green flag in the air. What a jump for our Muhammad Alif, and not a good start.
Not a good start from DeWale. But as you saw, Athena gave DeWale a break there, but Ethan Johnson slots into second. He gets a little bit loose, and there's contact.
Oh no!
Around.
And the caution is out. Zachary DeWale. That is exactly the opposite of what he wanted to do on that start. Getting a very, very poor jump off the line, and then some contact sending him all the way around. He's just gonna tumble down the field. Let's take a look at the replay here. Zach on the outside, yeah, just doesn't get the jump. Mistimes it just slightly. Teammate just, yeah, you see, gives him a break. Look at the shake here in the middle. Look how sideways Ethan Johnson was. And it was his teammate. As he checked up, his teammate gets into the back of him, sending him tumbling down the grid.
Yeah, Leclerc, yeah, it looks like DeWale and Leclerc have both been given end-of-line penalties for being involved in the incident, but really, as you saw exiting turn 2, Ethan Johnson, the 51, him getting loose on corner exit was the start of all that, and as we mentioned in pre-race, it's really treacherous on old tires, and I think you saw it right there.
Yeah, and you just see it's just checking up, trying not to wreck, and his teammate doesn't check up as much and gets right into the back of him.
Yep, just one of those classic start-restart stack-ups, excuse me.
So it looks like we're going to have 2. And once Athena Leclerc takes her end of line, there we go. 1, 2, 3 St. Clair College cars at the back of the field. This is going to be very interesting. The 20 of Alexander Hogarth in front of Zachary DeWale and Athena Leclerc. So
yeah, I would expect DeWale and Leclerc to make their way through the field pretty quickly here, and maybe Hogarth follows them too, following in the openings that they create.
And it's a good start, albeit the mistake mid-corner there in turn 1-2 helped out a little bit, but Ethan Johnson getting past Zach before the corner, like he was well clear and just slightly overcooked it into the corner and got a little loose. But that's Stoecki. Stoecki's in front there. I think he's on the wrong side of the field here. But
yeah, I believe he started in pit lane from what it looked like, as we saw at the end of the replay of DeWale's spin. You saw that 25 car just coming out of the pit exit. So maybe he gets the lucky dog here.
And gets a little bit of strategy as well there, knowing that something could happen off that start and deciding to start in the pit lane. That's playing it safe a little bit.
Yep, common tactic that iRacers use when they're afraid of a start crash is just hang out, start from pit lane, avoid all the melee, and make up those positions later. So maybe that's what Stoecki is getting at. Should point out, look who's in third place already, Jordan.
Oh, look at that. None other than Ryan Whitlock up to third position already. He's jumped past 3 cars. How does he do that? 3 cars in the matter of the front straight and a corner.
Yeah, and that's just...
Unfortunately, he does seem to have some damage on the front of that car, but yeah, that right front damage, but it happens in short track racing. We've seen some of these guys with very damaged cars work their way through the field, so I doubt that's going to affect him too much unless there's some suspension damage there.
Yep, we'll have to see how well he holds up on this restart as we're getting ready to take the green, but Ethan Johnson has found himself in clean air again, though not in the pole position, but on the outside of the front row.
So our pace car gets ready to pull into the pits. one more time. Let's see if we can make it all the way around this time. The green flag is in the air and we are off. What a jump from Muhammad Ali, getting right past the 51. We go single file pretty quickly up here at the front.
And that's your advantage as the leader. You get to control the restart.
Oh, look at him. He's right up onto the back of it already here, Ethan Johnson. Ryan Whitlock holds on to that third place position. It's going to be good for him if he wants to stay in this race. So these two, look at how quick Ethan Johnson's race pace. Very long.
Yeah, he's just stalking the back of that 12 car of our Muhammad Ali. See if he can apply pressure. He's almost on the bumper.
See, Ethan Johnson, he's a very, very clean racer. He races you hard, but he's super clean while he does it, so he'll battle as much as he can, but he'll keep it nice and neat. Muhammad Ali seeming
hard though.
Both of them pushing hard. They've pulled out about a second here on Ryan Whitlock in second place, or third place, sorry. So these guys not really saving right now, working hard for this first place position. Might come back to bite them here towards the end of this race.
Yeah, indeed, Jordan. We'll see if they end up paying for this run a little bit later in the race. See if that 81 to 22 come back to them in third and fourth.
This is already the most laps Ethan Johnson has not led in a race already. As Zachary DeWale already for 8th position here with Josh Comfort. The O2, he flew up the back of the field on that race. So he is not sitting about either. He is working his way up.
DeWale and Athena Leclerc have both already made their way back to the top 10. They're sitting 9th and 10th respectively, and now DeWale looks to take 8th from Josh Comfort, but that 78's fighting hard on the outside.
Yeah, he's holding on in there. You gotta clear him into the corner and just hold on to it from there.
Just close the door on the exit, but looks like Ryan Whitlock's holding up this little group of cars in the middle of 3 and 4. DeLong applying the pressure.
DeLong, Andrew Williams right behind DeLong as well, so as he takes a look there, but does not, just backs out of it a little bit. Ryan Whitlock, maybe that damage slowing him.
Yeah, it could be that damage. It also could be a tire saving strategy. Might work out for him later if he can hold on to this third position, not lose the track position, and end up having to use up the tire later trying to get back by a few cars.
And this is going to help him here as the two cars behind him battle, the 22 and the 24, side by side.
Battle for the lead, by the way.
And side by side for the lead as well. Ethan Johnson looking to get past Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, this is a tough task.
Turn 1 and 2. Oh, and he pulls it back mid-corner. Muhammad Ali is battling hard, but it looks like Ethan Johnson has cleared him. There we go, Ethan Johnson into his regular first place position here.
That might show you something. Maybe you can make it work on the outside line. You can, as you do in many short tracks, you can pinch the guy on the inside down and not let him use all the track.
Full replay. Muhammad Ali getting very defensive there into 3 and 4. And Ethan Johnson just hanging it out on the outside, making it stick. There's grip up there, but it's gonna wear out those tires pretty quick. That outside line, it works for a corner or two, but it eats those tires, heats them up, as Ryan Whitlock has now fallen to the 24 of Andrew Williams. And he's looking, and he's under attack from Austin DeLong. 22 inside of him now.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if that damage is hurting that 81 car a little bit.
He's able to defend into 1-2 there.
He's making it hard on DeLong, that's for sure, but DeWale has already made his way up to the, what looks like a 6th position.
He's already up to 6th here, and he's hunting here. Oh, as he's going to look to take it in on DeLong, and it's going to be 3 wide entering turn 1, but
he wanted to try it while it's hanging around there in 7th as well. Looks like he's going to go to the outside of the O2.
Oh, and that's not going to help DeLong there, or DeWale, as he's under attack from Drexel behind the 78 of Jason Willott. This 81 and 22 continue to battle hard here. This is playing right into the hands of Andrew Williams, who's driven away from these two.
This is just a nice gaggle of cars right here. We got 2x2x2, all starting from that 4th position with Austin DeLong and Ryan Whitlock.
Ooh, very close battling here. Zachary DeWale has pushed his way past Jason Willott now. These two still side by side. What about us? Whitlock gets a little loose on exit there. It's going to help DeLong clear him.
Now
Jackson
looks to break back into the top 5.
There he goes. Gets on the inside. Pushes his way through. There he goes. He'll start hunting down DeLong. And those two will go onwards to try and find Andrew Williams. Jason Willott seems to be stuck up on this outside line right now.
Be okay though. Looks like he's going to get to the outside of the 81.
He's sending it on the outside there.
He might be able to carry a little bit more momentum off that outside line and pinch down that car on the inside lane. It looks like someone just tagged the wall. That might have been the 56 of Wilson, as this battle continues to rage on.
From Willott and Athena Leclerc getting loose in behind Whitlock there.
Look at Comfort jumping into this.
Everybody's getting in on this battle, and it's all happening around Ryan Whitlock.
Yeah, Cale Davidson and Ryan Wilson hanging around too. Don't count them out.
Yeah, look at this. Josh Comfort now looking, battling on the outside here. So they're 3 wide across the line, 3 wide, entering turn 1. And Ryan Whitlock just going to back out of it on that one. Leclerc's got the inside line for Comfort now.
Yeah, I think Whitlock's kind of recognized that he might not quite have the pace of his competitors right now. Unfortunate for him to have taken that damage so early in the race.
Yeah, especially this race so important for him in the championship, just 10 points back.
I do want to draw attention to this battle for the lead because our Muhammad Alif has stuck around and there's contact there.
There's contact.
Lots of action going on, but Ethan Johnson hasn't been able to run away from the field like he normally does. Alif is hanging around. He's about 2/10 back consistently.
Yeah, he's just sticking right to that bumper, just hanging around. They're so close there for P6 and 7. Where's that? That's Athena Leclerc. That's for 7th and 8th, sorry. Claire on the outside. What a battle, just sending it in. Able to carry so much more speed into the corner and out of the corner on that outside line.
And now we have a change for the lead. Alif takes it. Ethan Johnson just gave it to him on the entry at 3 and 4.
Maybe looking to save the tires there a little bit, Ethan Johnson. Knowing not worth to take this fight. He'll fight later on.
Yeah, I suspect these guys will come together again. And the 51 certainly hasn't dropped off that 12 car.
Yeah, he let him by there knowing it was right on his bumper. He did not want that fight. Just let him through.
Yep.
Hang behind him. Just save those tires a little bit for the end as we're 30 laps into the 75 lap race here tonight. Just things have started to settle out.
Say as under attack.
As you say, as the O2 of DeWale takes a peek on the inside of Andrew Williams, so.
The Long's hanging around too. We've got some really nice battles going on here.
It's a very good track for these cars. There's a lot of lanes that you can very easily run side by side here.
Yeah, it's definitely a driver's track.
Indeed. Zachary Doyle just stuck behind this 24 Corvette Mustang Ultima. He's got the 3 badges, giving him a couple extra horsepower each.
You know, whatever parts you want to slap together at the junkyard, that's what
Ooh.
Williams supposedly labeled as.
Very, very close there.
The
Entering.
The O2 nearly sent him to the junkyard early entry to that corner.
That was a very close call indeed. Andrew Williams just getting up track in time. giving the O2 the space as the O2 got loose on the inside. Very close.
This is the point where you're starting to see the comers and goers emerge. Looks like DeWale has momentum. He's one of the comers right now. He's saved his stuff, and Williams, he pulled out a gap in third place at the beginning of this run after the restart, but looks like the rest of the field is coming back to him now.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, bumper to bumper to bumper through 3 and 4. DeWale just getting a little loose on the exits there.
Yeah, you can see how tough it is on corner exit. It's so hard to put the throttle down fully.
And when you're definitely pushing, like you can see these guys pushing all the way. Every position matters for these guys.
And that's what makes tire saving so hard in this series, is you got such good competition that if you save too much, if you're too conservative, everybody will just blow by you. So it's a delicate balance between maintaining competitive pace, but also finding a way to make your stuff last until the end. And that's a really tough nut to crack for everybody who competes in this series, and really in all the series in CIL.
Need to see O2. Look how close he's getting through these corners. He's right on his bumper, just cannot find a way beside. Great defense from Andrew Williams.
Yeah, he's just a bottom feeding like Kevin Harvick, just not letting anybody get to his inside.
Stallone looking to send it on the outside of the O2 there. It's not going to work. So he falls back a little bit. Stays clear of the 70 or 76 car there. These two still battling here for third position or final podium spot tonight.
Now, Athena Leclerc has pulled up to the end of this battle. She is in, I believe that's 7th place right now, trying to get by that 76 Awala for 6th.
There's 5 cars here in a line from 3rd all the way down to 7th, so.
And all behind that 24 of Andrew Williams. Williams is just hanging on.
So 61 gets alongside the 76 here. Athena Leclerc looking to get it done into 1 and 2. Oh, that was 3 and 4. I was right. Be ahead at the line, but it's going to be a close battle here.
Yeah, if I'm Waller, it looks like he gives Leclerc, no, not quite.
Athena running very deep into that corner there.
Yeah, he's going to have to concede that position to Leclerc, but I feel like this is one of those situations where you might just want to let her go and let them go to war for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, use up the tires a little bit, wait for the tire fall off, and hopefully come back at it a little later. See Austin DeLong's falling off of Taking a glance at the timing tower, you see 0.7 of a second off front, so a Leaf finding some clear air and getting some space behind.
Yep, that gap is definitely bigger than it has been, although still not a bit too close for comfort if you are Muhammad Alif.
Definitely not something to sit back and relax too much on. So we see it. Maybe a mistake there as he loses a second. So this battle just continues.
Oh, did hit the 24 just now.
And the 22 gets into the back of him.
Oh man, everybody somehow keeps it going.
Well, in the center of all of these incidents here today is everybody keeps it straight as he finally gets alongside the 24.
It's just so much effort to pass guys at this track.
It's incredibly difficult, as that just has helped the 22 get right back up to their bump. I'm looking to join in on this battle as the 61 player. Doyle taking a look.
DeWale is just hugging the bottom a little bit better at the exit. Looks like he's letting his car rise up about a quarter of a lane in the middle, almost like a little bit of a diamonding effect there. But it looks like it's giving him a good run off the exit, bringing him right to the bumper of that 24.
Yeah, he's pushing real hard. You see right down to that yellow line, especially on the exit of 3 and 4. He's right on that yellow line, so this
He likes to graze the yellow line right where the Geico restart zone is.
a little bit of a shake there. Oh, is the Drexel car in the back getting into the bumping into the wall a little bit? He's gonna have some little bit of damage there. Shouldn't be too much. A little paint scraping, but not gonna want to do that too many more times here.
Yeah, I think he followed the 61 of Leclerc into the wall. I thought I saw her scrape it coming off turn 2 as well. 76 just followed her into the fence.
That nasty turn 2 here. It's so difficult in these cars to get a clean exit.
Yep, it just feels like it closes up on you. It's really the only corner in my experience that feels like that.
So it makes this track so unique. That's why the drivers especially, love this track. So difficult to drive, and there's so many different ways to actually battle here. So I know a lot of drivers are excited when this race was coming up on the calendar, so it's very good to see.
Meanwhile, the leaders have run into a little bit of lap traffic. Looks like Leaf and Johnson have both gotten by the 20 of Alexander Hogarth. Hogarth currently runs in 14th. He is the only car 1 lap down.
Yeah, different story for him tonight. Unfortunate. Just couldn't find the pace here at Richmond, but 2 teammates battling real hard here up at the front. Zachary Doyle still struggling to get by this 24. We've seen him get one.
This is really admirable from Williams to just hold off 3 other cars here. His tires must be shot, but he's making it work.
See all of them just pushing, getting a little loose on exit here and there. It's bumper to bumper, lap in, lap out. So we are 23 laps to go here. And our Muhammad Alif over a second now in the lead, so he's got a little bit of space to breathe now, but if Ethan Johnson's going to make something happen, it's got to be pretty soon.
It looks like Ryan Whitlock has fallen on some hard times. He is in the pit lane right now.
That's likely because of that damage he had from that lap 1 incident, just becoming worse and worse through time.
And you end up having to push more and push more to maintain pace with the rest of the field, and maybe you got caught up in some kind of incident. But just really unfortunate for Whitlock, who thankfully has some margin for error in the point standings considering the drop week, but it's gives you a little bit less to work with as we have
when we see that, so that would be why it gets into the wall pretty hard.
My goodness.
So you're lucky to stay green from that. That was a heavy hit on the outside and then a heavy hit through the
Yeah,
no iRacing cautions there.
Yeah, in real life, we saw Martin Truex Jr. do something similar to that in, I believe it was 2004, but obviously the caution came out for that accident. iRacing not so friendly.
As I believe it's unlikely Whitlock will rejoin the track here tonight. Which is unfortunate for him, but being his drop week is a 4th place finish, it won't hurt him too much here.
Yeah, I think Leclerc really had to save the car off turn 2 that time. She is very lucky she's not backwards right now.
We see it drops her off the pace a little bit. Unfortunately, she's off the tail of the 22, who will look to try and get alongside Zachary to win, who he hasn't been able. These 3 have just been nose to tail all the way through this race. There's 17 laps to go. That lead up at the front only growing, so.
Yeah, our Muhammad Alif is pulling away from the 51.
Zachary Doyle takes a look and gets on the inside. Right against each other. No room for margin. No margin for error there.
That's just Williams pinching him down really hard on the exit as there's a little bit of a touch to the bumper. Here comes DeWale again to the inside of turn 3. He's at the quarter panel.
And you see just how tight the 24 is forcing him to exit that corner. Keeping him right to the yellow line through.
Yeah, it's hard to make passes here, Jordan. I just gotta say, it's easy for that outside lane to pinch the 0-2 down, as you saw right there.
He's going to keep his nose alongside, though. Stay alongside, get the nose in front. Tries to hold it alongside here. Just doesn't get him at the line. But these guys are... And there he goes, the 0-2 clears him.
Finally, it only took him 20 laps of effort, but he finally got the job done.
Andrew Williams isn't going to give up that easily, though. He'll send it right back out outside. He's right to that quarter panel, keeping him.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
touch!
The 0-2 cleared himself a little bit too much there. Andrew Williams, the unfortunate party from that.
Yeah, and DeLong slips through into 4th.
That could have been a real big wreck if the 0-2 moved up any more.
DeLong vigorously trying to block that 24 Williams. Williams trying to regain one of those spots.
We are 12 laps to go here. Andrew Williams, whew, about as close as you can get there on the entry to that corner.
I will say, if we have a late race caution, it's probably coming from this group of cars right here.
You see Hogarth getting out of the way of these 4 nicely on the outside there. Keeping out of the way of a lot of traffic. Good to see Zachary Dwell building himself a bit of a cushion here.
Just a little bit. Not super comfortable yet, but it looks like he is a little bit quicker than that 22 of DeLong.
You're across the line here for 10 laps to go. That lead up at the front for Muhammad Alif has just kept building. He's up to 2 seconds.
Yeah, Alif has definitely done a better job of saving his stuff. It looks like Ethan Johnson got used up pretty early in the race. Just a little bit of a struggle on corner exit. And Alif looks to go off into the sunset. His lead has grown to over 2 seconds now.
Oh, the 24 into the wall.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. That should bring out a caution, no doubt. And
yellow.
9 laps to go. Caution flag flies.
And that changes everything.
This is going to be... This is the exact opposite of what our Muhammad Alif wanted.
Yeah. Muhammad Alif he has to be taking the heaviest breaths he's ever taken right now.
Oh yeah, runs it too deep.
We have another Martin Truex impersonation, this time courtesy of Andrew Williams. We've had 2 cars do that tonight, just wash up on the exit of 4 and ride up the wall.
Came very close between him and the 61 of Leclerc, but Tino Leclerc keeping that nose clean. There he is, Muhammad Alif. He's seeing that 51 car a little bit bigger than he wants to in his mirror. To be able to look outside his door and see 51 Central Carolina State car. This is going to be Matt Stowecki, the last car 1 lap down, so he's going to head all the way around, get the lucky dog.
We got to give the lead lap cars and the lap down cars an opportunity to go to pit lane, so I believe we'll be going back green with about 3 or 4 laps to go.
Don't believe anybody will be entering pit lane here, as there's no extra tires and no need for extra fuel here tonight, so be surprised to see anybody enter pit lane.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for, I guess, it would have been a good opportunity for Whitlock had he stayed clean, but fortunately he's still stuck in the pit lane. But Williams will have his chance to repair the damage. You see he's coming in now.
That's Matt Stowecki into the pits as well. He's our lucky dog, so pulling into the pits. He's got some damage on his car as well, it seems like. He's going to get some repairs done here under caution.
That pace car is heading into turn 3 right now. If Andrew Williams wants to stay on the lead lap, might have about 20 more seconds, if I had to guess, to keep this damage going.
See those cars stopped in pit lane. Stowecki gets moving again. He'll be out before the pace car. It'll be real tight here for Andrew.
Might have overestimated the time Williams had. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to go a lap down under the caution.
Yeah, some unfortunate damage. You see those two cars getting. Those are two very competitive cars for us here tonight, so that's unfortunate that Ryan Whitlock. Andrew Williams just, there he is into the pits, ending his own race, really. So unfortunate to see.
I think part of what happened with his accident was he just used up his stuff early in the race, and he had to fight so hard to maintain his track position that the car just didn't drive the way he'd expected it to. Exiting turn 4, maybe it pushed up just a little bit more than he would have thought. And
the lights go out on the pace car. We're going to have 3 laps. 3-lap shootout here at the very end. Oh boy, this is...
Pull those belts tight one more time.
Be ready. Anything can happen here. Especially with 3 laps to go. Cautions can breed cautions, so...
Yeah, and this isn't a green-white checker as far as I know, so as long as, or if we get a caution before the white flag, there will be an attempt at a green-white checker to end the race under green.
Yep, this is just the natural 3 laps to go. So we get ready to go green as Muhammad Alif gets the jump on the 51. Him before the line, gets out in front.
That's what he needed right there. And
51 going way deep, and that is not good for Ethan Johnson as he loses out a little bit there.
He's
big, heavy contact.
The high line in turn 2. He's backing up the entry, trying to maximize the exit of the corner as they're all fighting really hard behind.
The 02 are going to look to stick to these guys. If any of them make a mistake, he'll be right there to pounce on the open space.
Ethan Johnson trying to get absolutely everything he can entering the corner.
Pushing so hard. Taking a bit of a wider exit, tighter corner. I carry as much speed all the way through, and he's wiggling on the exit. He's pushing so hard as we are on the white flag. Muhammad Alif holds onto the lead into 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a gap here. I think Johnson's going to need a miracle to make this work.
He's going to try his best, but it doesn't look like anything's going to come of it. Muhammad Alif, for the first time in the Student Short Track Showdown, is our race winner. Ethan Johnson will pull alongside him into turn 1 after the checkered flag. He's our second place finisher here tonight. Zachary DeWale, the 02 car, is that him spinning there after the turn 3 there? It looked like it. But that is going to be a podium for DeWale, who had probably the worst start you could have to this race, getting spun sideways by his teammate. So it's going to be a pretty good recovery drive from him. Muhammad Alif is going to burn it down here.
And that's an incredible performance by Alif. He is the first person to best Ethan Johnson this season, and he finished it off with a perfectly executed final restart. Just got a really good jump on that inside line, was able to clear Ethan Johnson just after the start-finish line. From there, Ethan Johnson was kind of put in a tough spot.
Yeah, that was heavy contact into 1 and 2. That could have been very bad, but both cars and both drivers doing very well to keep it straight and keep us green.
Yeah, we almost had some very hurt feelings entering turn 1 on that last restart, but
and let's take another look at it here. I believe it's just
did an amazing job.
Here it is. Entering turn 1, just Ethan Johnson braking too late, getting into the back of him.
That was a heavy hit from the 51.
And that could have been very bad. Very good car control coming out from the 12. Look at that.
That really felt like that was Ethan Johnson's last opportunity to grab the lead right at the end, because Alif just had a little bit more pace. I think he had a little bit more tire left, and he is rewarded with a victory tonight at Richmond.
A very well-deserved victory indeed for Muhammad Alif. Like you said, the first person to best Ethan Johnson on the track. He is our race winner here tonight. Behind him, Ethan Johnson. Zachary DeWale rounding out our podium, the O2 coming all the way back from his lap 1 incident. Very good comeback race from him. Austin DeLong in P4. Behind him is Athena Leclerc, the 61 car. Behind her is going to be Jason Willott and Josh Comfort in 6th and 7th. Ryan Wilson and Cale Davison behind that, and then Matt Stowecki rounding out. Timothy Wilms going to be coming in 11th. Alexander Hogarth comes in 12th, 1 lap down. An unfortunate end to that race for Andrew Williams, who brought out a late caution here tonight, and Ryan Whitlock, who got caught up in our lap 1 incident. That is unfortunate from him, because he would have been able to capitalize. Would have loved to see what he could have done with a clean car here tonight.
Yeah, I think Whitlock thankfully has his margin for error with the drop week, but I think he'll definitely be thinking about what could have been if not for that lap 1 incident.
Righty, and we've got the drivers here waiting in the interview room, so we're going to talk to Zachary DeWale, the 3rd place finisher. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the booth. What a comeback race from you here tonight. Getting spun out off your teammate's nose on lap 1, and then working all the way back up to get up into 3rd. How'd you do it here tonight?
I would say carefully, but it wasn't too careful. I made some moves that in another car probably would have taken both of us out. A couple on Andrew, a couple on I think it was Austin. But yeah, it was just sticking to my line, trying to get a drive off corner as I could to try and get to people's inside, and yeah, just trying to keep the tires under me was a big part of it.
Yeah, and you mentioned the aggression that's needed for you to get through the field. Just how did the track drive tonight? It seemed like it was a lot of good battles. You could catch guys, but it was really hard to pass. Just what are your thoughts on the racing out there?
The racing was actually pretty good. On cold tires, these things like to slide around a lot. So early in the race, what caused that first incident actually was it looked like Ethan just got on the power a little too hard and got sideways, and I checked up, and then Athena had nowhere to go. So it's like these things are just really hard to drive off the go. But once the tires start to break in a bit, they're handling for me really well. And then the racing, you're hugging the yellow line all the way around. It's pretty, for as big of a track as it is. It was just pretty good short track racing, because you had to kind of move guys, and you had to be a little rough to get to the inside and finish off the moves. So yeah.
And move guys, indeed. You got a couple of bumps in Andrew Williams, who brought out our final caution here on his own.
Yeah.
After that caution came out on that restart, how'd you keep ahead of the 22?
Well, I just tried to get a good jump, and then off that restart, actually, I saw it looked like Ethan took a swipe at the 12. So I was just pushing, trying to jump him if I could, try and get a shot at Muhammad myself. But yeah, it just didn't quite work out. But luckily, we were able to hold off Austin. He was as soon as I caught Andrew, he was just on me, and it was like someone breathing down your neck. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, you three were battling for the majority of that race. Well, congratulations very much on the 3rd place finish here, Zach. And anybody you'd like to shout out here tonight?
Yeah, Emily and Riley, if they're watching. Yeah, it was a fun race. I like coming through the field like that. It's a good time.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Zach DeWale, our 3rd place finisher from college. And let's pull in our 2nd place finisher, Ethan Johnson. Ethan, welcome to the booth. What a race with you and our Muhammad Alif, especially all the way down to that. What happened to turn 1 out of that restart?
Nah, it was a fun race. just kind of tried to save there a little bit and let him by, and he got a little bit out there. And when you get that big of a lead, it's kind of hard to run down without using too much tire and kind of pace yourself. So I give him that for that strategy. He definitely outdid me tonight. As far as the restart there at the end, I really didn't expect him to check up as much as he did. Because we restarts, you don't have as much momentum off the corner getting into the corner, so I figured he'd drive it in just a little bit deeper than what he did. But I mean, all in all, it won't bad. Just burned the tires off of it a little bit too early, and he got the best of me.
Yeah, Ethan, another great drive from you. Awesome second place finish, although not the top step that we're used to. What did you think you needed to do to keep on the top step of the podium tonight?
Honestly, I just think I need a little bit more practice. I didn't get in here till late, and I really haven't been on the sim much recently. And I think the last race I ran was the last race was in this league. So I mean, it's just practice more, pretty much. Just get ready for the nights beforehand, and just know that I can figure out how to get around the track, both race pace and qualifying pace.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a very different track from a lot of the other tracks we have in this series. A lot bigger overall. Was that a hard transition to make from the smaller short tracks to this bigger one?
Yeah, and I feel like it's really just based off personal preference whether you transition well, honestly, and whether you like the tracks. And I'm not the biggest fan of of going to these bigger tracks. Just feel like tires get burnt off a little bit too quicker, and I feel like it close racing is definitely something that you get with these big tracks. Um, but it really just depends on how quick everybody else is, and if you're quick enough to stay with each other, then you're gonna have a good pack. But if you mess up one time, it kind of strands you.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much, and congratulations on the second place finish. Is there anybody else? Is there anybody you'd like to shout out here tonight?
Yeah. Once again, Elite Performance Industries for all they do. Just everybody for racing pretty clean there in that race. We had a really long green flag run, and I appreciate that, and I know most of the drivers did as well.
All right, thank you very much, Ethan. This is Ethan Johnson, our second place finisher here tonight. Bit off of what we normally see him, but it's good to see that someone can person challenge.
Yeah, but even on an off night, still competing for the win. So I guess that tells you how good he is at driving.
Exactly, and that person that brought that challenge to him was our Muhammad Alif. Let's welcome our Muhammad Alif to the booth. Congratulations on your finish here tonight.
Thank you.
Going into you had a pretty healthy lead there before Andrew slid up into the wall, bringing out that final caution. What were you thinking? Yellow flag came out.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Kale wanted me to say this, Roar XD. Okay. Moving on to the question. Yeah, it was quite very healthy, I'd say. I was taking care of my tires as well, all the way till the end, putting a good cap on Ethan and the rest of the field. I think it was like 10 seconds at that point. So very, very encouraging, I'd say, after everything that we've been through on this series. And yeah, looking forward to the next one.
And an excellent performance tonight. You're the first person to best Ethan Johnson in a short track race this season, and you sealed it with a perfectly executed restart with 3 to go. How did you want to approach that? Because it certainly worked.
Yeah, it worked because I think it's harder to start on second place because usually the first guy just takes off, you know. So it was easy. I think if Ethan was like in P3, it would have been a bit more tricky, I think. But yeah, I knew that I had better tires under me towards the end of my stint. I think before the yellow came out, I was pulling away from Ethan, so I knew that I had the tires under me. So from then on, it was just blocking the inside line and getting a good run out of 2 and 4.
Yeah, and entering turn 1 there, we saw you get pretty heavy contact there in the rear from Ethan Johnson. What was going through your mind as you were pushed all the way up the track there?
That was scary. I did not expect that. I think Ethan might have just, I don't know what he told you guys, but I think Ethan might have just broke himself. We were having a very respectable battle, I'd say, all throughout the race. So I don't expect him to try anything that malicious. But this is short track racing after all. From what Andrew Williams told me after round 1. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, what was going through my head? I mean, I was blank. Just focusing on the next corner and trying to stay ahead, and then yeah, trying to win the race.
Alrighty, and congratulations on that first place finish once again. Is there anybody you'd like?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates for the continued efforts and determination and practice. Our team director, Dan Marino, and the whole Ball State esports team. And also my parents are watching, my friends who are also watching, and yeah, to you guys who gave us a brilliant show.
Well, thank you very much, Muhammad Leaf, and congratulations on the first place finish. What a race there, Andrew. Start to finish, there was battles.
Yeah, we had a couple incidents bookending things, but man, I would argue that might have been the most entertaining race we've had all year. We had that long green run right in the middle of the race, but you saw really hard battles all throughout, and you saw the comers and goers. You saw Andrew Williams make his way up to third, and then Zachary DeWale and company behind him were able to catch back up to him and really hound him for about 20 laps before that caution came out. So we were really able to see different drivers' strategies when it comes to tire saving and maintaining track position, and how that all played out thanks to that long run. And then we get a late race restart to cap things off and give us a thriller of a finish. So yeah, it's a really good one. Good television.
Yeah, that's the latest we've had a caution here all season with the short track series. All these drivers have been very, very good all year round to keep us racing green for the most part. Really only making mistakes off the. So where we normally have the first 5-10 laps, where we normally have all. Getting a late race restart definitely fires things up, gets tensions high. As that was very sketchy into turn 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, you finally come to a NASCAR Cup Series track, if you don't count North Wilkesboro, which they'll be going to in a month or so. But yeah, maybe we just injected a little bit of the NASCAR spirit into this race tonight. We put on a good show for the fans.
And what a show it was indeed. We'll be looking forward to putting up another good show in a couple of weeks when we head to the Nashville Fairgrounds in April as our next race in 2 weeks' time. But for now, I would like to thank you all for watching. Jordan Brooks and Andrew McCall here in the booth. And a big shout out to our producer, Matthew Nordberg, here tonight. It's been a great one. Thank you all for watching.